I grew up watching the entire collection of Disney movies. I went to Disneyland. I got a little hat. And as a 4-year-old, I wore my goofy underoos with pride. Of course, when you're 18, they can be sort of constricting. The weird thing is that after years of exposure to Disney's fantasy world, I can't always separate it from reality. For instance, when I see Dennis Rodman, I think Mad Hatter. Princess Di is Lady and the Tramp, depending on the tabloid. I see Tanya Harding, I think Thumper. Bob Dole is Grumpy, and Congress is 101 Dalmatians. Well, there is a lot of barking going on from guys with spotted reputations. But in the end, all that comes out is a bunch of dog eating. Now, my fantasies are essentially harmless. There's nothing wrong with Disney. I mean, what better place to go to escape the pressures and demands of real life than Disney World? However, without even going to Florida, because America has adopted what I like to call a Disney World mentality, one in which we take a dangerous fantasy-like approach to solving our problems. As University of Chicago Professor Peter Homan states, we are moving away from a culture of reality and instead have embraced a culture of fantasy, one that doesn't deal with tough issues, but instead seeks the illusion that life is smooth and without rupture. I'm sure you've all heard of Cinderella, the talking mice, the evil stepmother, the lost slipper, and true love at first sight. Well, I guess that's the basic plotline for all Disney fairy tales. Girl likes prince, prince meets and somehow instantly falls in love with girl. Evil witch, bows lie, prince reverses curse, and bravo. Happy ending. So, why can't this happen here, in real life? I mean, we have everything we need. Online dating websites, plastic surgery, the lottery. Why can't real life be like a fantasy? 2 words. Fantasies are dreams. They're fake, unrealistic. Every minute you spend trying to turn yourself from a mistreated sister to a beautiful princess is a minute wasted. But some people don't listen. They take life and how it works and try to make what they want happen. Well, Rob Lindgren got the picture. And today, he is going to show us that while it's okay to build them, we need to learn to properly ground into reality. Our Castles in the Air by Rob Lindgren. So ladies and gentlemen, carefully step aboard and allow me to be your tour guide as you visit 2 of our newest distractions. First, the land of ignored reality, where we can fail to deal with very real problems. And second, the kingdom of created reality, the land in which we will distort reality to get Disney-like happy endings. Now, to truly enjoy a Disney World vacation, one must accept the fact that elephants can fly, ducks can talk, and a beautiful woman can actually have a romantic relationship with an ugly beast. But enough about my love life. Ignoring reality works in a fantasy land. But in the real world, it's fatal. Our first stop, LaGuardia Airport. As reported in the New York Daily News, for 6 years, airport authorities have attempted to lengthen the runway that was 3,000 feet shorter than required. However, they met with opposition from environmentalists who wanted to protect Mother Nature at all costs. The talks continued. The flights continued. They argued by nearby waterways. In the meantime, planes fell in them. During those 6 years and 3 separate accidents, 29 people were killed and 59 injured. Lost in a maze of economics, politics, and negotiations, the reality of the passengers' lives was ignored. And unfortunately, where the commercial industry leaves off, the government picks up. In 1993, a string of fires swept through Malibu. According to the LA Times, the National Guard, realizing that fires do burn, was ready with 2 supertanker firefighter planes to help stop the blaze. However, because of a regulation designed to avoid government competition with private industry, nothing was done during this emergency. The government first took the time to offer government contracts to private aircraft operators. 13 fires raged for a time of 13 hours before the National Guard was given permission to fly. Now, in the world of Disney, Bambi escapes the fire. However, in the real world, 350 homes and 3 people didn't. Life and death is a real issue. And the biggest choice is more important than snow cones or funnel cakes. The real world demands we assess risks, set priorities, and take action. Action we seem unwilling to take. Now, as our tour continues, we enter our second distraction, the kingdom of created reality, a land in which we will distort reality to get Disney-like happy endings. For example, film star Demi Moore thought she had a more than decent proposal when she and filmmakers decided to change the ending to Nathaniel Hawthorne's classic, The Scarlet Letter. After reading the script, Demi decided that Dimsdale's death was more than a real downer, so instead, she had him ride off into the sunset with Hester Prynne. In her words, the true message of Hester Prynne would have been lost if we had to stay with the original ending. We seem to believe that if we don't like something the way it is, we can just alter it with a wave of a pen and a bippity-boppity-boo. Our next stop, the educational system. According to the Wall Street Journal, schools will create the illusion by the fabrication of data. The University of South Florida, for instance, managed to raise its average SAT scores by nearly 40 points, simply by dropping the bottom 6% of its students. Now, contriving reality in the classroom is one thing. However, contriving reality in cancer patients is another. In Time magazine, Professor Benjamin Bletch recalls with anger watching the death of his best friend Sam, who had been told by the apostles of New Ageism that he could cure his cancer with the magic of positive thinking. That if he wanted it badly enough, Mary Poppins-style miracles would happen. As a result, Sam could not forgive himself for his illness. He felt that he was a failure as a husband and a father, because he could not simply will his cancer away. Too often, we feel that we can send our problems off to Never Never Land. Why is it that America is so out of touch with reality that they spend $100,000 a year to have their problems solved by the psychic friends now? And why is it that solutions are so elusive that instead of facing reality, every 26 seconds, a child will run away, and every day, 6 teens will commit suicide? As Peter Homan states, reality deals with tough issues of struggle, power, and loss. It takes something of us, makes demands. We seem to have forgotten that some of the greatest rewards in life come from the conquering of conflicts and hardships. And although the culture of fantasy asks nothing of us, it gives us nothing in return, and instead leaves us with false hopes, empty truths, and a maze of unacceptable solutions. So how exactly do we pull ourselves down from the top of Space Mountain and plant our feet back in the real world? Ironically, we can learn from Walt Disney. Not the illusions he created, but the realistic means he used to bring those illusions to life. Faced with bankruptcy, technological barriers, and harsh critics, Walt never lost sight of his dreams. When even his own wife asked him, "Why do you want to build an amusement park? They're so dirty," he said, "That's just the point. Mine won't be." And so from orange groves to swampland, Walt Disney created a kingdom. His answers, which can be ours, are simple. First, we must face issues directly, rather than distance ourselves from them, because only then can we begin to resolve our problems, rather than resign ourselves to them. And second, we should not allow what is to be in the way of what should be. We can still dream for happy endings, as long as we work to make them a reality. As 19th century philosopher Henry David Thoreau stated, "There's nothing wrong with building castles in the air. Now put foundations under them." Ladies and gentlemen, our tour has come to an end. I ask that you remember to take with you the mouse ears, the memories, and the message that the true rewards of life do not come from going to Disney World. They come from the other magic kingdom that we create by living in a real world.